Member Karen,
Deb Murphy, George Bennington,
Francesca Tagalis,
Kevin Campbell.
Hank Green,
Sue Leoni,
Keith Ritchie, Jean Goodman.
Great, thank you. Next, the approval of the minutes from our June 12th meeting. Is there a motion to approve?
motion to
Motion
approve.
approved. There's a second. Susan, thank you. All those in favor? Opposed?
No,
So carried.
Approve it.
So carried. Okay. Next order of business is an update on the ice rink. Gene, these are very impressive results.
Oh, thank you. By the way, I just think I could comment that probably on a day like this, you're not thinking much about skating.
I know.
We haven't even gone into the fall baseball yet.
Right.
But anyway, some initial comments. My intent is to focus primarily on what I'll call our participation numbers. That is how many people in our community were served by the Butcher Community Ice Rink in this past 23-24 season. As most of you know, our season is generally from early December through late February. And I've also going to include some revenue and income amounts as well as just great numbers. The big picture, excuse me, is that our revenue, which does not count donations and sponsors, went from $47,000 to about $102,000, which is a 150% increase. And if you're wondering what our final income was, it's in the little handout. It's $152,000, and that difference from the 102 is that we had about $50,000 worth of donations and sponsors. I'm not going to focus a lot on the side. Revenue is composed of participation. Revenue is composed of two major sections. The first section is skaters with two categories: season passes, of which we had 181 this year versus about half that last year, and that was a total of $26,000 worth of revenue. All this is in the details, stuff like that, with a lot of comparisons of last year, this year, which I'm not going to make in general sense. The day passes, which are good for the whole day, are day passes. Unlike many other places, you get your hour and a half. You can come in at noon and come back in the evening if you want for our passes. As long as it's the same day. Our categories are adult passes and children passes and senior passes, which are the same price. I'm sorry. Oh yes, children and senior passes are the same price, not as adults. We have different prices for weekdays versus higher prices for weekends. And likewise, we sell kid passes for less than adult passes. Later on, we'll see that there's a much greater usage during the weekends. Our total day pass sales were 4,300 passes, made up of approximately 3,100 kids and 1,200 adults. Pass sales have a happy bias towards kids. Total day pass sales were 54,000. I might comment, by the way, when I do say 31,000 kids, obviously many of those are repeats. We can't tell whether, just like in a movie theater, a kid comes and buys a ticket a day. They don't know how many. We have some ideas on that, but of course, no there. In their handout, there are more details about the day versus weekend sales, but in summary, weekend sales were 80% of all day passes. And we can't tell likewise with the season passes how many came on weekends or weekdays, but I think the assumption is obvious that they're probably similar. We do know day passes versus weekend passes because the price of different items. Adult versus child day passes, well, children are 70% of the day passes. So, as I said earlier, there's a happy bias unless you don't like kids. There's day passes for kids, kids skating. And by the way, for those of you who pour through financial reports and numbers reports with looking for a little inconsistency, whatever it is, I did notice that there are some places where numbers may not reconcile. And checking that out today, I found out that sometimes I included the 84 group passes and other times did not. So there may be some small places where, hey, these numbers not quite right. They're mine. Now, other sales. Skate rentals at Chartman. This is the biggest contributor to other income, especially once you factor in that about 85% of state rentals pay an additional $10 to $15 for a day pass. Person comes to our state, they obviously gotta pay to get in. The number of rentals was 1,500 with 154 skate parks. If you consider that the 85% skate rentals buy the day passes, this translates into an approximately $14,500 worth of pass sales from the prospective state rentals, which is a major revenue stream. So I'm sorry, combine that 14,000 with the approximately $7,000 or so of state rental. That's 20% of our total revenue, which is very substantial. By the way, that the NCCF went in with us on buying the state rental equipment. And they paid $7,500 for half of that stuff, and it's paid back in the first year, basically. There are also the costs associated with it. It's a very profitable thing, and it's priced very competitively. Coming back into other sales, group lessons, first year with group lessons, we hope to grow this substantially next year. This year we had 34 students with 4 lessons each, and the revenue was $5,400. We're hoping to grow that fair amount. Other income, mainly donations and business sponsors. 2 notable donations were $7,500 from NCCF, thank you, which made it possible for us to start our state rental program, which we did not have last year. And we also had a very generous $15,000 donation from the Company family. And while it's not in this year's numbers, I think it's appropriate to mention, I'd like to mention that last season we had an identical donation from the Quinn family. They happen to be from naming rights for this involvement. So I'd like to give a shout out now to some of our business sponsors, Weeds and Durian, Mario Lopez Building, Beldenville Landscaping. This is not in the presentation. But I'd like to thank these people. Greenology Restaurant, like in town, sponsor, Grand Insurance, local business, Central Newspaper, and Joe's and Ferrant, the group, which is from the food, and we look at food and real estate groups, and then zoom in.
Right. Well done.
And Jake, was Jake here?
He's away.
Okay, he said he might jump in with questions, but he's away. So
What's your season for next year? When do you plan to open?
early December.
Early December, okay.
So not for Thanksgiving. I thought maybe Thanksgiving.
Well, last year there was a problem getting started, and we don't know what it's going to be this year. But and also we're still ironing our kinks. That's something we do. What we'd like to do. And that's a traditional in the Westport Desert.
Right.
On Friday the day is that day. I'd say our sites. I'd rather promise less and give more.
Okay.
Any new features for next season?
Well, we're hoping to add adult skate sizes, expand our lessons. I talked to John about that, and Zach, and also Aggie over at the seniors to see if we can do something for seniors at the time, and the seniors can come over when we're not that busy. Before the school gets out, when it would be a very good time for them to skate without a lot of people in the ice, kids and nervous. But those are preliminary talks, but that's a possibility we'd like to do. One of the problems with the Park and Rec is that they also, kids aren't able to just come until everyone else is there as well. And unlike where there are lots of playing fields, they can always find some spot for them. We have some, so those are our major 2 enhancements with the adult size skates, and as you can see from those are just this size skates this year. And being that adults are about 30% of the rentals, and then you multiply that by their entry fee, that's a pretty substantial revenue enhance.
Sure.
Good job.
Wonderful job. Yeah,
Congratulations.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions for Gene?
Well, I was just gonna ask, did you make a profit?
No,
So where's that side of the ledger?
well, that's the fundraising effort we have to put on.
Well, so what were your expenses?
Our expenses were $220,000.
And brought in 152,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. still, it's trending in the right direction, it's directionally going the right way.
But
Yeah.
how long can you go? You know,
We have to raise more money.
yeah,
We have some money in the bank, but we don't have enough. This is still,
To raise the difference.
there's a good difference.
Yeah.
And we take donations.
Yeah.
Glad you asked.
Is there a budget line for it
Excuse me?
in Parks and Rec? No. Will there,
not as of now.
We do not get,
as we start working on like 26, or like, would we put it in there? Like, would you, like, in the next budget cycle, is that something?
It hasn't even been discussed at this point in time.
Because there's,
we
fundraising.
we wouldn't mind, I wouldn't want out that right now, we do not get any funding from the town, we do get assistance and help and stuff like that. We do get, some people in the town say we do get money, because there was a state grant of $200,000, so there's just some money left over as well. But, and the town's been paying that without getting reimbursement, but they claim to get reimbursement, so Kevin used to like to say, we'll give you all that money, but in fact, I look at it, the state's giving us money, but we're not getting any money from the town that is not intended to be reimbursed at this point in time.
Perhaps, a townwide fundraiser during the winter at the ice rink with parents, with kids and donors,
We are working on plans for things of that nature, as well as
that could,
before, because I'd like to have some, that we're gonna have the money.
Right,
And I
sure.
can't entirely bank on that, but some of the fundraising has to occur beforehand, my opinion, otherwise it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Yes, I.
Is there any possibility that any community groups in town might want to have their night also?
We did have some events, in fact, and that's an area we hope to expand. We had a teen night. We had, I forget which group it was, a couple of groups actually, did a youth rental before we opened up. Okay, it's a community event. I can't recall which community it was. Last year, year before, the YMCA wanted to do it, but when we found out we didn't have skate rentals, they had teenagers. A lot of big skates that decided not to do it, but there's definitely opportunity. I think it was Camp Playground, I think, I can't remember, it's Camp Below again. Now that that's a for-profit group, but still, are not for profit, sometimes want to get, the nature center. This is a good example, they have a lot of kid programs there, and sometimes they're looking for activity, or could even be a fundraising event that they want to do at a high school. Things.
You do any outreach to these community?
Yes, we do.
We do. Can you take donations of like skates from people?
It's a sensitive area because of liability possibilities, but and we've worked on that, we haven't worked it out yet. It's another nice thing, and we're still getting more of the tool of our skis.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was just thinking of the swap shop, if there was a sign that says.
They'll take them, but I go to
Yeah.
look for them, they're very rarely there.
Okay.
any other questions for Gene? Well, thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Good job. Next on the agenda is, the Conservation Commission, Robin Bates Mason, she's gonna present in September. So the Wakefield Conservancy are seeking approval for a bench location.
They're not on, Charles Cricketman couldn't make it, so he asked me to
Okay,
go through it.
okay,
So this would be their third benchmark
Nice.
sculpture.
Pretty.
If that's not exactly it, that's how it would look.
Okay.
It sounds like he does more than one, the same thing, but the location they're looking to put it on, we're the Waveney House, of course, is to the left. The walled garden is almost directly above that arrow. That's the location of the old swimming pool.
Oh, yes.
So, and it's now kind of a flat plateau after all the trees were cleared off and everything. So they're looking to put it on the location so that it would overlook the pond. Similar to where Charles is standing right there. Set back just enough that we can have a mower come through where he's standing and put it on a concrete pad with rock. And
Is that against the burn, or is it?
it's on the
over
top
top
of the
of
berm. It's on the flat plateau part before it drops off. Like if he took 2 steps backwards, he would fall down the hill.
Okay.
So
Is that gonna get in the way of the sledding?
Yeah, that's my question.
over that section, not many people sled there, and it would be on the top of the sledding part, so I don't think it would be a problem. There's this little drawing of where it would go, and then it would have a similar plaque like this one that was for the one out in the lawn, which the sculpture would say, Nigel Ross, 2024, joyously donated by the, I might say this wrong, McGrew family. So it'd be a similar bronze plaque that would be set flush into the ground.
Okay.
So they're looking for approval for that location.
Do you guys have any issues on that?
No, our biggest issue was just having enough room to have
Mow
multiple paths
around.
going around
Okay.
it, and so it's not just completely trimmed.
Do you want us to vote on that?
Yes.
They want you to vote. It has been ordered. They're talking about a September delivery, so,
And for you, as mowing purposes, is fine?
yeah, as long as we leave it back enough that we can get a mower around
Okay.
the edge side of it.
Is there a motion to approve?
Sure.
Keith, that's first, second by Doug. All those in favor? So carried.
Okay.
John.
Okay. So. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank everybody for the family fireworks, from the committee to Deanna Carlson to the recreation office, parks and the recreation department, the highway, police, fire, CERT, and of course, all the townspeople that came out. It was a miserably hot day that way, but it went off well. Hopefully, everybody understands that we needed to switch it to the next day due to the potential for thunderstorms on Saturday. So as far as I'm concerned, besides some minor issues, it went very well. We always have minor issues that we keep changing and switching things around. So other than that, summer camp, we're almost through the second session already. So there's another 2 weeks after this week. Baseball tournament will be this weekend, Cal Ripken tournament down at Melick Field, Mead. Today Todd and his crew cut the edge of Mead Pond, so that looks a lot better now. We did have a delayed open for Kiwanis this year. The well went down and we had to have an emergency replacement, and it takes a long time to fill the pond back up, and we didn't have it all the way filled up, so we're basically closed for four days that we would have been open.
Sure.
Pool's up and running, going well. And other than that, we're in summer mode, trying to stay cool and still get things done. So,
Yeah, it's been turned the last couple of weeks, been pretty hot. So, great, thank you for the fantastic fireworks, all the feedback, particularly from the Exchange Club, the new tent location. I think they sold out, want to understand?
it's all about bomb pops and water. So, but that's another one, there's a few things that we changed for next year.
Change the next year, exactly, yeah, but they.
So there wasn't much left other than Coca-Cola and Diet Coke.
Right, all the water went,
All the way.
and all the bomb pops, there was an awful lot of
Yeah.
popsicles.
There really wasn't that much ice cream left. I mean.
No, there wasn't a lot left.
So the freezers worked.
That's the key.
We're not serving milkshakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one thing we learned from last year.
Yeah.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
So
So,
cooler.
yeah,
I had a question, on the entrance ways to the Bristol Bird Sanctuary from Mead Park. They, you put in the gate and the fence, and they put on those, big stones, which I gather at some point is gonna be asphalted.
It's gonna be flexi paved, like similar walkways at Irwin Park.
Okay.
We don't know when the contractor's coming to do that.
Okay, that was my question.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it should have been done by now, but
Yeah.
who knows? I don't know exactly why.
Yeah.
So,
That's and then there's the parking lot, parking spots you're putting at the other entrance to Briscoe.
oh, yes, on the 106 side.
Yeah,
Yes,
and that's
gotta
gonna
be-
be Tiger Man's deal, right?
That's all him, yeah, that's. Yeah, that's gonna be some pull-off spots so that there can be a few cars to be parked.
Yeah, yeah, and I guess it will connect the walkway that comes up from that part of town then you'd be able to walk through the bird sanctuary and then leave, and then get back on the Greenway, but.
But the Green Link Trail actually goes through Mead, it's just, some people know where it is and some people don't.
Like me.
Any other questions for John? Okay, we'll move on to my report, which will be very brief. We do not meet in August. Our next meeting will be on Wednesday, September 18th, okay? If for any reason we need to have a special meeting to approve something between now and then, we will do it via Zoom, okay? And we'll all give you proper notification, and everything, so we have to notify town hall and everything. But I don't think that's likely, but if it does come up, we'll be in touch. So, with that,
You have,
oh, sorry.
Betty Lebostic has her hand up.
Hi, Betty.
Yeah, hi, everybody. A few things. I don't know how many commissioners know about this issue. It is week 4 and the gate attendant in Kiwanis still doesn't have the ability to scan people who come into the beach. They have to manually submit it. And at one point on Sunday, I came in the afternoon, I handed my pass, and you hear a beep. And I said, wait a minute, my name doesn't appear, so I'm not in the system. And the person said, oh yeah, I heard the beep. And I said, check. So by that time, a staff member came by and said, oh my gosh, nobody is in the system. So the people who came throughout the day and had left the beach, even though it beeped on the scanner, they are not recorded. And this is still prevalent to today when I went to the beach. So,
Betty, what's your other point? What's the next point?
well, I want to know how it's being addressed.
It's the first I've heard about it, Betty, I'm sorry, we'll look into it.
Okay, this was notified
next point,
to
Betty?
Steve Dayton. The next thing is John Howe and I met in April, and we discussed putting signs on the doors between the gates between the playground and the beach, because people are going into the playground without passes and going to the beach. And I want to know where that stands.
They're on order, I'm pretty sure that they've come in, but I'm not positive.
Okay, so they'll be put on this season?
Yes,
Okay, and then about a year and a half ago, maybe longer than that, another resident had asked for chairs that are convenient for seniors who have back problems to sit up. The chairs that we have are low to the ground and seniors have difficulty getting in and out. And we're talking chairs that are around the little tables on that patio part, because the benches there have
Your
no.
questions for chairs, let John ask that. Can you?
yeah, the chairs that we have there were donated to us, the lounge chairs, we have never purchased chairs. That
Right,
way-
but
Same
the
with
chair,
pool.
the chairs I'm speaking about was presented by one of the neighbors, and it's a high back chair for seniors to sit around in that patio area, because there is no back support on the chairs there. And that was mentioned, I think, in December of 2022.
But it sounds like we've only had donated
We've
chairs.
only had donated chairs.
Maybe ask your friend if they're interested in donating some chairs.
Well, why can't we have chairs there that have backs that seniors could sit in around the patio?
It sounds like was that right, that we also have donated at the pool? It's not that we don't purchase chair or.
We don't.
have
You
it?
could buy,
We haven't purchased chairs.
Betty, do you have any other points?
yes, I do. I feel like I'm being pressured to, I'm not over
I'd like
3
to keep
minutes
this
now.
concise, Betty, okay?
Yeah, but I have, the other thing is the geese population has improved. It looks a lot cleaner than last year. However, they're starting to pick up. So are we using the geese police in the morning on
Yeah.
that?
The geese
Yes.
police come down, they do come down to the park.
Okay, because the population in the afternoon is starting to pick up again.
Yep,
Not as bad as last year.
Anything
So,
else?
no, that's it.
Okay, well, we appreciate your comments.
I wonder if, if we need the kind of chair, I mean, I have some on my pool, which I bought them, which my wife may force me to get rid of, so they would be probably pretty good for seniors, considering they work for me.
Yeah.
But I was thinking,
I'll try one for you.
yeah, but I was thinking also, you know, the swap shop gets things like, that kind of lawn furniture all the time. I mean, like every weekend. So, and if we could just kind of say, put aside, you know, lawn chairs for Kiwanis Park, maybe that could be a source for lawn chairs. And they wouldn't all be matching.
They definitely won't be matching.
Right.
I'm sure that we would want,
But they might be sufficient, you know.
but that almost seems like something that we could tell residents to pick up on, like, look at the swap shop. I don't know that that's something in terms of like furnishing
Yeah.
Kiwanis with assorted lawn chairs.
Eddie should probably go down there and pick it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think you're right from a resident perspective,
Yeah.
right?
You know, if Mike, Denon at the Kane and I were here, I'd say, can you please put in something in an article asking residents who have extra lawn chairs to bring them over to Kiwanis Park? He says, we could probably solve this problem in a week.
Could I mention one thing? When you mention it in there about the lawn chairs, it's stackable. So when you go to a Lowe's or something, they're stackable. Do you know what I mean? So it doesn't take up space. And I think that's what the resident was referring to. I like your idea, and I think that was Keith that is speaking. I can't tell, you look too small on my screen.
It was-
Thank you. It was Keith, thank you.
You're welcome, Betty.
Okay. Thanks, Betty. Are there any other comments, questions?
Just to confirm, the next meeting, you said is September the 18th,
Correct.
not the 11th.
That's correct.
That's my fault.
No, I'm
The
happy,
New England Park Association conference is the week of the 11th.
I'm happy to have it on the.
Okay, if there's no other questions, there are motion to adjourn. Motion second. Thank you, Lindsay. All those in favor? Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Happy July.
Happy July. I'm not a full